wasn't cranky, and my team knows that you don't really want to see me in the morning without coffee. So those people that have early morning fitness because maybe they weren't ready have learned maybe they should bring me coffee, and I'm a little happier. So and I really appreciate the opportunity to come talk to all of you. And I'm one of these people that starts thinking about things, and maybe some of you will be like this also. So I'll get in the shower and I start thinking about something, and suddenly I realize like I've used up all the hot water in the house and I haven't even washed my hair yet, and I'm just standing there thinking and going over things. So there's been something that I've been thinking about a lot all summer, and I'm going to start talking with my team next week. We actually report for preseason July 31st. It's the first time in the history of the NCAA that a team has been allowed to come in July. So it's a little crazy. So you guys are starting before even my team on this. So one of the things that I talk to people a lot about is, who do you really want to be? Okay? And you know, people say, oh, I want to be a champion. And then maybe they're not quite doing the work. And so you have to point that out. It's one of the hardest things as a coach to have those conversations. The fact that you guys are here Friday morning at 7 a.m. probably means that you understand what it takes. So I want to talk about the word committed and what that means. Okay? Everyone feels that they're committed. Okay? So tell me, what does it mean to be committed? What do you do when you're committed? Work hard. Do your workouts? Absolutely. What else? I'm sorry?
You're consistent in your workouts.
Consistent in your workouts. Yep. Follow team rules. Right? Follow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you I don't think that that's committed. I'm gonna try to change the way you look at the word committed. Okay? So here's my fancy whiteboard. This is high-tech stuff we're doing here. Okay? You're compliant when you do that. So here's the range. Non-compliant, meaning you're not doing your workouts, you're not following team rules. That's all the way like a 0 to 10. When you're non-compliant, you're basically a 0 on the workout scale. And then committed is a 10. Okay? In the middle is compliant. Student athletes who are compliant show up when they're supposed to. They do their workouts. They follow team rules. They do everything that the coach asks them to do. They do everything that the program asks them to do to be a member of that program. They do enough to be there. They do enough to be there. Everybody thinks they're committed. And I'm here to tell you that I think the vast majority of the people that say they're committed are really just compliant. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I want to make sure you understand. I'm not saying there's something wrong with being compliant. If you are following team rules, if you're doing the workouts, if you're a good teammate, if you're coachable, you're compliant. And there's nothing wrong with being compliant. You still deserve to be a member of a team. You're doing everything you're supposed to do in order to be there. But what I want to change in everybody's minds is people see the baseline, the lowest you can be as non-compliant. Non-compliant, you shouldn't be involved. You're done. Your baseline, the lowest anyone on your team should be, is compliant. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're showing up. You're passing fitness tests. You're doing enough to be there. Okay? So, what's different about being committed than being compliant?
Doing more.
What?
Doing more.
Doing more. So give me an example from, I want examples from sports.
Making more than 500 times.
Okay. What was your free throw percentage? 82. Okay, best on the team?
No.
Okay, what was the best? Yeah.
Somebody can remind me.
Okay. Do you think you can get there? What would it take? That's committed rather than compliant. Compliant is doing what you've been asked to do. Committed is doing something and saying, I'm going to go to the next level. What's something else from another sport that shows you're committed? Taking extra rounds. And how can you tell if you're improving? Right, and you say, I'm going to go to the next level. See, we all say, if we do what the coach tells us to do, then we're going to get better. Well, so is everybody else. Okay? So everybody says, I'm committed, I want to win championships. Well, so is everybody at that team that wears red and that team that wears orange. We won't say that. Not my talk. Okay? So they're compliant, they're showing up and doing a workout, but what can make you committed? And another word you could put here is this is borderline obsessed. Let's be honest. Committed is borderline obsessed. Compliant is doing enough to be here. Okay? But now I want to talk to you as the perspective of a coach. On this whole range here, the coach takes care of from non-compliant to compliant. That's what the coach takes care of. If a player is non-compliant, who's going to take care of it? The coach. You're coming into the office to talk about not following a team rule, not being coachable, not working as hard as you can at practice. All those things. Coaches take care of people that are non-compliant because they absolutely crush the chemistry and the culture of your team, right? So the coach takes care of that and says, look, here's where you are. You need to start doing these things. Every coach has their things in order to be a member of this team. But here's the problem. Coaches really do not influence players very much to go from compliant to committed. You're doing all your stuff, right? You're doing everything that it says on paper or that the coach says to do. You're doing it all. You're compliant. How many championships do you think you're going to win if your team is compliant? Not a lot, right? This is where you start influencing. This is where peer pressure takes care of it. This is where leadership says, hey, let's stay a little longer. Let's take a few more free throws. Let's stay in the batting cage a little bit more. That's the difference. Okay? Because here's the thing. Let's say soccer, we typically train about an hour and a half. We get into the season, it's about an hour and a half a day. And the great thing is for players to stay afterwards and work on something specific to their position. Okay, obviously our goalkeepers get to use their hands are a little different than our forwards that are trying to score with their feet. So they have different things they have to do. So if I say, hey, everyone today is staying 15 minutes afterwards to work on things specific to their position, and obviously they're all going to stay, right? They want to be a part of the team. That's just compliant because I told them to do it. I can't make people committed. I can ask them to. I can give them the ideas of what they need to do to be committed. But that's up to you guys. I can make you compliant. I can demand that you're compliant. I can push you to be compliant. I can urge you to be compliant. I can ask you to be compliant. I can talk about committed all I want. I can't get you there. I can't. That's right here. Right here. And if you can make sure that you are committed, not compliant, and if you can pull your team, and it is a pull, and sometimes it's a push, and sometimes it's a drag, isn't it? It's like you're grabbing somebody and saying, you're coming with me. And if you can pull them from what they think is committed to really being committed, you become a championship team. you become back-to-back. You go to the next level, wherever you are. But it's on you guys. We can't do that. So all your friends that might not show up to every workout when they don't have to be there, who can't wait to get off the court, out of the batting cage, who always have something else. Oh, I would love to do this, but there's always a reason. There's always a reason. When you ask them if they're committed, you know they're going to say yes, correct? Oh, think about all the sacrifices I make to be a student athlete, as if, you know, it's the worst life in the world, right? And I give up this and I give up that. I work so hard, right? And therefore I am committed. I want you to think in your mind, no, I'm committed, okay? You're just doing what you're supposed to do. And if they're okay with that, but, you know, how about we do a little bit more? How about we really show what committed is? You're doing what's asked of you. Make up your own. Mine is compliant. And understand, that's not average. You're not going to put down a friend and say, you're just doing the average. No, it's a lot of work. Doing what coaches ask you to do, demand of you, is a lot of work. Doing what Coach Tracy asks you to do is a lot of work. I've seen the videos, I've seen the stuff you guys do. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's hard work. But I don't want you to be compliant. It's no longer good enough in this department. And it's not good enough for you, is it? Just to do what's asked. It's not good enough. Not for any of you, otherwise you're going to be 7 in the morning, right? Do that little extra and drag and push and pull your teammates to be what I want you to think of as committed. Showing up in enough. All right? So that's what I've got for you this morning. That's going to be, don't ruin it for me now with, you know, my team now, because that's going to be my big theme this year. It's going to be on the board July 31st. That no longer is compliant enough. Committed. Okay? Have a great workout.